The baseball team inches closer to being the unanimous #1 team in the country.
And the women's lacrosse team continues their impressive start to the season.
This is All Access, and it all starts right now. Welcome to All Access, the show that swarms you with Rowan sports news and recaps. Much like the swarm of Villanova fans celebrating after their second men's basketball national championship in 3 years. I'm Cody Decker.
And I'm Derek Hill. The Wildcats are certainly earning their prestige in Division I basketball, and our profs are trying to build the same off of early success in their seasons. Let's start the show with the latest on the baseball team. Cody?
Thanks, Derek. The red-hot Rowan baseball team continued their great string of play with a 2-0 shutout victory over Haverford College on Tuesday. Both of the profs' runs came in the 6th inning when second baseman Alex Kokos drove in Sean Layden with an RBI double. Kokos was then brought home on an RBI single by Monty Strickland. Right-hander Andrew Cartier threw 7 quality innings, allowing 3 hits and striking out 8. Cartier improved to 2-0 on the year, while Jeremy Dizenhouse pitched the final 2 innings to record his second save of the season.
The Rowan baseball team had improved their win streak to a perfect 10. Newman University stood between them and their 11th win in a row. The profs were able to hold off Newman to conserve the 3-2 win when left fielder Monty Strickland was able to gun down the potential tying run at the plate for the game's final out. Offensively, Strickland had a double, an RBI, and a run scored. Lefty pitcher Dante Scafidi threw 6 innings to improve his record to 2-0 on the year. He allowed 2 runs while striking out 3.
The baseball team rounded out their week with their first conference doubleheader at Ramapo College. Game 1 did not open so well for the #1 ranked profs as they went down 2 runs in the first inning off of a 2 RBI double from outfielder Joe Margari. There will be no more scoring until the 6th inning as the profs bounced back to tie the game. Second baseman Alex Kokos hit an RBI single down the right field line, and first baseman Monty Strickland roped an RBI double to right field. The Roadrunners tacked on another run in the 7th inning before adding a 3 spot in the 8th off of 3 RBI singles to win the game. Their starting pitcher Corey Heitler threw a complete game, allowing 2 earned runs on 5 hits, 2 walks, and 1 hit batter, with 12 strikeouts, improving to 5-0 on the season.
In Game 2, the profs rebounded with a 5-3 victory over the Roadrunners. After both teams split runs over the first 2 innings, Rowan would earn the next 4 runs of the game, with 3 of them coming in the 8th inning. Monty Strickland continued his productive day with an RBI double to start off the inning. Ramapo tried to climb back after 2 runs in the 8th inning, but could not crack the scoreboard further. For the profs, third baseman Justin Provost went 2 for 4 at the plate with an RBI and a run scored. Starting pitcher Andrew DiPiazza improved to 3-0 on the season, hurling 7 innings, allowing 1 unearned run on 2 hits and 3 walks with 7 strikeouts. Rowan improved to 15-2 on the season and climbed up to #2 in the D3Baseball.com poll while staying at #1 in the American Baseball Coaches Association poll. After their trip to SUNY New Paltz today, they will travel to Stockton University to face the Ospreys on Thursday. First pitch is scheduled for 3:30 p.m.
The weather does not feel like spring yet, but baseball is back with details on the opening weekend and more. Here's Chris Devine with this week's Pro Talk.
What is up, everybody? I'm Chris Devine, and welcome to this week's edition of Pro Talk. I'm here to keep you up to date with everything that's going on in the world of pro sports, so let's get down to business. Philly fans can be known to be outlandish at times. We all know this. But is it outlandish to ask for your new manager to be fired after just the first 3 games of the season? That's the mood that Phillies fans are in after the Phils dropped 2 of 3 to the Atlanta Braves to start the year. It wasn't so much the fact that the Phillies blew a 5-0 lead on opening day in an 8-5 walk-off loss, or getting absolutely crushed 15-2 on Saturday. It was how Phillies manager Gabe Kapler handled the bullpen on opening day. Starter Aaron Nola was cruising when Kapler pulled him after just 68 pitches with the hope that the bullpen could conserve the win and keep Nola's workload down. Kapler must have not received the memo that the Phillies bullpen has been a dumpster fire for the last few years, and you can guess how that game went. Hobie Milner came in and allowed a home run, and it was all downhill from there as Nick Markakis hit a 3-run walk-off homer. On Saturday, Kapler came out to pull starter Vince Velasquez in the 3rd inning. He signaled for Milner in the bullpen to realize that he forgot to call the pen to tell him to warm up. Milner did not make it to the mound within the time limit, but he was given his warm-up pitches anyway. The MLB has issued a formal warning to the Phillies to not allow this to happen again. While it may be crazy to want your manager's head on a silver platter after 3 games in a 162-game season, Kapler's handling of the pitching staff is not easing anyone's emotions. Sticking with baseball, the newest member of the evil empire, that would be the New York Yankees, Giancarlo Stanton got his career in the Bronx off to the right start by hitting 2 home runs on opening day. He homered in his first at-bat as a Yankee. Now, seeing the notification come across the screen, I actually wasn't that surprised. Don't get me wrong, I love Giancarlo Stanton. He's one of the purest hitters in the game. And it's not like he chose to go to New York. Derek Jeter completed the inside job of becoming owner of the Marlins and then wrapped Stanton up with a pretty bow and gifted him there. But what we as baseball fans are going to see this year has the makings to be something special. The Yankees have a history of great home run hitting duos, Ruth and Gehrig, Maris and the Mick, and now Stanton and Judge. For someone who hit almost 60 home runs last year, I don't see how Stanton can't eclipse 70 home runs in that little league-sized ballpark called Yankee Stadium. One thing is for certain, though, the Yankees are back to being World Series favorites, which means that for us as fans, life can go back to normal by hoping that they fail. And if you watched the show last week, I talked about how Manchester United released striker Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who signed with the LA Galaxy of the MLS. Zlatan made his debut on Saturday in the first ever Battle of LA as the Galaxy took on the new franchise in the City of Angels, LAFC. Zlatan had arguably one of the best debuts in MLS history. He scored from deep to tie the game at 3 in the 76th minute and then scored the game-winning goal in extra time. The footage of Ibrahimovic running with his shirt off after scoring the first goal will probably go down as one of the highlight moments in MLS history. Last week, I talked about how many believe that the MLS is a glorified retirement league, but if Zlatan can play at the level that he says he can play at, he could change that narrative. As far as records go, though, he still needs 139 goals to surpass Landon Donovan to be the Galaxy's all-time goal scorer, so keep an eye on that. That's all I have for you on this week's Pro Talk. Coming up, Cody and Derek have the latest on the softball team, but coming up after the break, Eric hosts this week's softball roundtable, so stay tuned for more All Access.
Welcome back to All Access. It's time for our Rowan Roundtable. Joining me today are Christina Gorano and Sonia Sharma of the softball team. Thank you, ladies, for joining us today. How's your day going?
It's pretty good. It's good. Thanks for having us.
It's good. It's a pretty successful season so far. I have that you're 15-4 overall, and then you're also between 2 tournaments overall. You were 13-3. So it sounds like it's a great softball season so far.
Yeah, it's
So
going
far,
pretty
so
well.
good.
So I believe you're both freshmen, right?
Yes.
So this is your first year. Cool. So just talk about the season overall. What have you enjoyed so far? Has anything really just stuck out with you since you've joined the softball team?
I mean, the team is pretty great. They're all so friendly. They really made it easier coming to college because a high school to college is a big difference, obviously.
Yeah.
So
I definitely agree. Like, they're so welcoming, and like I consider like some of them like my best friends already, and it's only year 1, so that definitely helped.
yeah.
Great. That sounds real interesting. So just talk a little bit about the positions you play.
Well, lately I've been DHing, but I usually catch, and sometimes get some time at first base. So I don't know. It's been pretty good so far. Get in some games, and it's a good experience.
Yeah, those are both tough, especially like I know as catcher because like even though I never played, I originally was always going to try out for catcher. I know like a lot of my friends when I was in Little League like would say their knees would kill them a lot.
Yeah, I've honestly been doing it since I was like 12, so I guess I'm used to it. But
Right.
yeah.
At least you get some like time as like a DH or like first base here. It's
Yeah.
not like totally like killing your knees. So, what about you?
Yeah, I play second base. It's been going pretty well.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you're both so pretty much just mainly infielder and then like infield and then some DHing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds great. That's awesome. So overall, why did you want to come to Rowan? Was it necessarily for softball or was there another reason involved?
Well, I knew the softball program like was like really good, and like honestly, the college itself is like still building up and is built up honestly, and I knew like altogether it'd be like one good experience. So
Cool.
The softball program obviously is very good here, and also the engineering program is good here, so that's what made me come.
So I'm guessing you're an engineering major?
Yes.
That's cool. So where, actually, here's a good question. Where are each of you from? Are you both from New Jersey?
North Jersey.
North Jersey.
North Jersey? Where in North Jersey?
Bergen County.
Oh, cool. Some of my family's from there. Where in Bergen County?
Mawa.
Oh, okay. So not terribly, not too far up north, but
Yeah.
it's up there. And then what about you?
Essex County.
Essex
Caldwell.
County? Caldwell? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, we
That's great.
played with each other before this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Would you guys play like overall, like when you guys play with each other, was it like a travel team?
Club
or
team.
something?
Yeah,
Club
club
team.
team.
Gotcha. So you didn't go to school or anything together like
No.
that? No. So that's pretty cool. I know a lot of people will eventually like become teammates after like kind of playing with each other in a different level or playing actually against each other as teammates or against each other in different leagues. So so far as freshmen, talk a little bit about the some of your players on your team and your teammates, and more specifically about the ones that are in leadership roles. So who do you, like maybe some of the upperclassmen or and such, who do you think really sticks out to you, and who do you look up to most as your teammate?
Honestly, Morgan. She honestly has like the biggest voice in our team right now, and like I know like even in Florida, like living in her house, like she kind of like takes me under her wing, I guess you could say. So I don't know, I always look up to her and like the way she is with us.
So can you talk a little bit more about how she, like when you say takes you under her wing?
Like even like in
essentially?
practice, like she'll like come up to me and like if she sees me like struggling hitting or something like that, like she'll point it out and like take the time to tell me rather than.
That's great.
I
So
guess
you have,
ignoring it,
yeah, that's great. So you have like a mentor that you can kind of look forward to on the like look towards for some inspiration.
Yeah, like I'd
and
go to
some
her
help.
if I had like any questions or anything.
That's great. That's cool. And then do you have anybody you want to mention?
Yeah, for me it's Carly because she's also an middle infielder. So we have a lot of like similar like I don't know, like with softball, like we have different plays and stuff that we have to work on together. So she's been really helpful. She comes to me like whenever I mess up, or she's always there like supporting me. So yeah.
That's awesome. So it definitely sounds like you both have someone that you can at least look forward to, like getting some help from, especially in practice and stuff like that. So I'm gonna swing for a little bit from talking about the players, and I kind of want to talk a little bit about Coach Wilson. What's she like in practice and as a coach?
Honestly, I feel like I have a pretty good relationship with her, like being a freshman, and like I guess like we said before, going from high school to college is obviously a difference, especially like softball wise. And I feel like she kind of like takes the time to like slow the game down, I guess, for me.
Right.
Rather than just like, I don't know, like it's obviously like a different type of game.
So when you say like, can you kind of describe what you mean by when she slows the game down?
Like she'll just like
essentially?
take the time to like point it out, like if she sees like you doing one thing wrong, she'll like take the time and like walk over to you and like tell you like exactly what's going on.
So it sounds like she's always really dedicated to just being the best coach possible and actually helping each player out. That's great. And then anything you want to say about Coach?
Me and Coach have a good relationship as well. Yeah, but I don't know, I agree. She helps slow down the game for us because when we came, a lot of stuff was thrown at us and it was very nerve-wracking, and she helped us like get used to it, not worry as much. Like she really helped us through this.
All right, cool. That sounds great. So because it's your first, both of you, it's your first year rather, what are you looking forward to most this season, or have looked forward to this season so far?
I would say spending more time with the team because it's always fun when we're together, and also hopefully like making it far, super regionals, hopefully the World Series.
And it's pretty exciting. Like we're starting NJAC season now, which like is obviously an exciting time.
Yeah.
Like so I've heard exactly. So I don't know. Everyone seems to be pumped and stuff. So
should be exciting.
Yeah. So it sounds like you guys had a really good start to your season. Can you talk just briefly a little bit about the 2 tournaments that you were in?
We played in North Carolina. We did pretty well. We won every game but one.
Yeah, we went 3-1.
Yeah, so that went pretty well. The team we lost to was a nationally ranked team, and they were very good. So
we did really well in Florida too. I think we definitely became like we gained more chemistry and like bonded more in Florida, which helped us as a whole. Yeah,
definitely. It sounds like you guys had 2 great tournaments, because I actually have here that you even defeated Thiel College, I believe is how they're pronounced. It was 15-0.
Yeah.
That's a pretty impressive offense, especially when you can shut a team out like that.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
It definitely sounds like everything's going well so far this season, and there's definitely a lot to look forward to because I think the season goes to like what, April?
May.
Or May?
Like the first,
Maybe June.
It depends.
If you make it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds really cool. Well, that is all the time we have for this Rowan Roundtable. I would like to thank Christina and Sonia for being here. Cody and Derek, back to you.
Thanks, Eric. Let's dive further into the softball team season with recaps of their latest games. Derek?
Thanks, Cody. The Rowan softball team was faced with a doubleheader at home on Wednesday against MIT. In the day game, pitcher Jessie DeDomenico threw a fantastic shutout performance for her 9th win of the season. She allowed only 1 hit while striking out 5. DeDomenico swung the bat effectively as well, contributing with 2 hits and an RBI. Morgan Smith and Katie Makos produced the other 2 runs for the Profs in the 3-0 victory.
In Game 2 of the doubleheader, no winner could be determined as the score ended in a 6-6 tie, with the game being called in the 7th inning due to darkness. Not all was dark for the Profs, though, as shortstop Carly Anderson tied the school record for doubles in a game with 3. Third baseman Cassandra Gerard had a double and 2 RBIs, while center fielder Christina Mueller went 2 for 3 with a run scored. This was the final game for the softball team before they began conference play.
In their first conference doubleheader of the season, the softball team traveled to Montclair State to face the Red Hawks. Game 1 resulted in a solid win for the Profs by a score of 5-0. There was no scoring until the 4th inning, where the Profs put up 2 runs, followed by a run in each of the last 3 innings. Second baseman Sonia Sharma went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run scored. Catcher Nicole Peyote and center fielder Christina Mueller each went 2 for 3. On the mound, Jessie DeDomenico picked up her 10th win on the season, throwing a complete game shutout, allowing 3 hits with 5 strikeouts.
Game 2 was a much different story as the Profs fell 8-2. Rowan's 2 runs came in the 2nd inning, but the Red Hawks could not be stopped from the 3rd inning on as 4 errors haunted the Profs. For Montclair, left fielder Victoria Gehring went 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs and a run scored. Shortstop Amber Powers also went 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. Starter Nicole Majewski threw a complete game, allowing 2 earned runs on 8 hits and 2 walks with 1 strikeout. 2 solid hitters for the Profs were left fielder Rebecca Lombardo, who went a perfect 3 for 3 with a run scored, and shortstop Carly Anderson, who went 2 for 4 with an RBI. The Profs doubleheader scheduled for today at Stockton was postponed to Friday at 3 p.m. and 5 p.m.
After the break, our Isla Gideon sits down with more members of the softball team in this week's Prof Spotlight. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to All Access. Time for this week's Prof Spotlight. Joining me are Morgan Smith and Christina Muller of the softball team. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So first things first, let's talk about the team chemistry and what you guys built over the years.
I think this year especially, we have a lot of freshmen. We have 50% of our team is freshmen, but I think that's been good for us, and it's really we've tried to take everybody under our wings, and we've really we've made a good chemistry on and off the field, I would say. I mean, because we're honestly best friends. All of us will go on Applebee's after this, kind of thing.
Yeah.
We go out to dinner, we'll hang out. I think it's good for on and off the field kind of thing.
Great. So let's talk about the Florida trip. It was a great event for y'all. You guys went 10-2, which is just absolutely amazing. Day 1, you guys just went right ahead and got 2 wins against Illinois and Thiel. So in the beginning, Illinois, they had a strong lead, let's be honest. Mm-hmm. But you guys came in the 5th inning. What contributed to that, switch?
Morgan's bloody nose.
Then
you let off, right? Well, I led off the very beginning of the game. I think what happened was we came into Florida thinking we don't know how we're gonna be, because that's the very beginning, and especially I just said we had a lot of freshmen and they don't know what to expect, and I feel we came in and we were we've been good in the past, so sometimes we hope that we'll just steamroll over teams or something. Right. But then when that team played with us, we realized that we actually had to get on it, and that's when Morgan stepped up, hit a home run, just to come back.
So day 2 was also another great day for the team. We had Muskegum, and they actually, until you guys played them, of course, they actually had a 11 game-winning streak until you knocked them out 6-0. Matter of fact, tell me about that game. Like, were you guys able to, deliver all your best plays? Like, tell me about that.
What did we have a play? No, that was in that time.
Yeah.
Muskegum. God, I can't remember
I
how
feel
the game
like
started.
I feel like before the game started, our coach actually came up to us.
Talked to us.
And she was saying how this team hasn't been beat before, and they're thinking that they're just gonna and we'll just roll right over because they haven't had any losses yet,
right.
And we were not about that at all.
No.
We just tried to stick it to them and kind of show them that we were here to play with them.
Yeah, we had to make sure that we made the small, the little things, do the little things right.
Yeah, just
to beat them.
Small improvements, big moves.
Yeah.
So Ohio Northern, that was your first loss of the whole tournament. I think you guys were leading off 4 game-winning streaks. Tell me about that game. What could have contributed to a win now that the game has passed? You had time to think about it.
I think when, with us at least, I think when one thing happens, one bad thing happens, all of our bad things happen.
Right,
it's the domino effect.
Right.
But honestly, I think we basically, once we had that effect, we had adversity to it and we got over it.
Right.
So I think, everyone has those type of games, but we made some way to come and get over that game. But, what about you?
I agree.
All right, so we're near the end of the Florida tournament. We're looking at days 4 to 7, I believe. And then you guys were able to still win. Only, I believe, 1 loss. Were you guys able to break that such a successful tournament? Did you guys already know that right off the bat we're going to seal this up with a couple wins?
Honestly, we try to win every game, so we were our mindset was just to win, but having 2 wins was nice.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I feel in years in the past, we always say that the Florida trip, it really doesn't define us kind of, because we'll go in there hoping that we're gonna do great. I think it was my freshman year, because I'm a junior. My freshman year was the furthest we've gone in a long time, but we did so bad in Florida. It's just I feel it's always the opposite. Last year we didn't go as far, but we did better in Florida.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I feel sometimes we get worried that Florida's gonna be what defines us, but then we need to realize that it's literally the very beginning of our season, and it's the first 10 games, and it's a good way for us to just see what our players are made of, kind of thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So with Montclair being the start of the conference schedule,
Yikes.
what do you think that has impacted the rest of the schedule?
Next question.
I don't think that we were obviously upset about it when it happened, because we shouldn't have lost that second game, but again, we had the domino effect the second game, but we definitely don't think that defines the rest of our season at all. We had to talk about it after that game, and we basically said we can either come together or fall apart for the rest of the season. We decided to come together. So.
Mm-hmm. And in that talk, our coach talked about making sure that we play as a team, and we aren't individuals focusing on batting averages or how many errors or how many strikeouts you have, and we just want to work on what our end goal is. And one of our new coaches this year, he talked about how we shouldn't be looking at little things our stats after a game, and instead we should be looking at the bigger picture, winning NJACs and going to regionals and super regionals and the championship hopefully in the end. And I think not that it was a good thing that we lost to Montclair, because it was never a good thing, but sometimes you the lining on the
silver lining.
Yeah. So I feel it was good that we kind of got put in our place and realized that teams are going to play with us just because we're Rowan.
Yeah, and if we let them play with us.
Yeah.
So.
And we keep saying that we've only beaten ourselves at this point. There hasn't been a team that's been so much better than us that it was we should not there's no way we could have beat them. I feel we just she was saying they snowball our errors, and when one thing happens we're oh God, we're done. And then that just ends up being why we lose, because we beat ourselves.
Okay. Game against MIT, that was Rowan softball history. Let's talk about that. You guys were able to steal a win from them?
and a tie.
And a
somehow.
tie.
That's even more history. I think that was the first time coaches ever had a tie, she said.
Yeah.
Well, we knew MIT coming into that game was good.
Right.
We had talked about that they were going to have the hitting team, the defense, that we were going to have to play our top game to beat them.
Mm-hmm. And that's just what happened.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did. We put runs on the board early, and then just tried to back our defense up, which didn't just win. So.
And I feel like the last time that I remember seeing MIT was 2 years ago in the championship. They were one of the top 8 teams with us. So like that was the last time, because they're obviously not in our conference, so we don't play them normally. So like all I personally was thinking about how like they're gonna be a good team, like so we have to like do our best, and it was our home opener. So like we really wanted to like get out and like show them that we're ready for the season, kind of. And then we tied, so that was weird. But
Okay, last question. What's an ideal end to the season? Or are we talking about beating Ramapo? Or, NJAX, of course.
Well, yeah, obviously, like, our end goal is to make it to NJAX, but the bigger picture is making it to the World Series again. I made it to the World Series, what was it, my sophomore year? Your freshman year? Yeah, my sophomore year, her freshman year, and it was one of
nice.
it was one of the best experiences ever. And I mean, it's my senior year, so I'm trying to go out with a bang again.
Might as well.
So.
You guys are doing so great anyways,
Thank you.
Okay.
I mean, when I came in freshman year, like we right off the bat, like well not right off the bat, but like at the end of the season, like we won NJAX, and like that was one of my favorite memories so far of Rowan softball is winning NJAX, and like just having, like being so happy, and like I can remember charging them out, and like it was just like the greatest feeling ever. And then like winning regionals and winning super regionals, and like keep going, and like the World Series, like that was like the coolest thing I've ever done. And like I was just a little bitty freshman, like running the bases, like, but it was just like such a cool experience, and I would love to do it again.
Well, we expect great things, back at Rowan. That is all the time we have. I'd like to thank Morgan and Christina for coming. Cody and Derek, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Isla. Time to hit the home stretch of our show, beginning with the latest on the women's lacrosse team. Cody?
Thanks, Derek. The women's lacrosse team were in search of their 4th consecutive victory, hosting Washington College on Wednesday night. The Profs trailed 2-1 in the first with 23 minutes remaining in the half. They would then score 6 consecutive goals in 3.5 minutes to take a commanding lead. Washington was able to bring the score to within 4 at the half, as the score was 12-8 heading into the second half of play. The teams would go back and forth throughout the second half. With 13 minutes remaining, Kim Doyle scored to put the Profs up 17-12. Washington would close the Profs' lead to 17-14, however. They could not score any more in the last 3 minutes. With the 17-14 win, the Profs moved to 5-1 on the season with a strong 4-goal performance from Kim Doyle and Maddie Bray.
The men's track and field team competed in day 1 of the Danny Curran Invitational on Friday. The team had 3 top 10 finishers in the 5,000-meter race, this including a 3rd-place spot for Kevin Veltri, 4th for Daniel Fitzhenry, and 8th for Nick Nacco. As for the 10,000-meter race, Brandon Eagles earned 10th, and Ryan Featherline earned 15th. For the throwing team, Ja'Cory Williams and Tariq Hills placed 3rd and 4th in the discus. For the shot put, Dejan Goodall earned 4th place.
The men's track and field team would continue action on day 2 of the Danny Curran Invitational on Saturday. The Profs would ultimately take first place in the meet with 194 points, with the help of 9 total first-place finishes. Bobby Cooks got first place with a time of 14.69 seconds on the 110-meter hurdles. Shai Mumford would earn first in 2 races, including the 100-meter, where he earned a time of 10.96 seconds, as well as winning the 200 with a time of 22.02 seconds. Chris Messiano would earn first on the 400 hurdles, followed by Anthony Salemo in second. To round out the top finishes, the 4x400 team of Salemo, Messiano, Jamil Jackson, and Justin Bishop would also take the first-place honors.
The women's track and field team would also compete at day 1 of the Danny Curran Invitational on Friday. In the 5,000-meter race, Brianna Dela Cruz earned 5th place with the time just over 19 minutes. Tatiana Bell and Carrie Wonder earned 6th and 9th in the discus respectively. They would be joined by Samira File, who got a 12th place spot in the discus. File would also come away with an 8th place spot in the shot put.
The women's track and field team continued action on day 2 of the Danny Curran Invitational on Saturday. The first place victory, totaling 165 points, was earned because of many impressive finishes. The 4x100 meter relay of Anaya Robinson, Aspen McMillan, Darian Cross, and Dominique Peters earned a first place time of 48.78 seconds. Robinson would also earn first place in the 100-meter race, followed by McMillan in second. Cross would later take first in the 200 meters. Jackie Ansong would win both the 100 and 400-meter hurdles. Hannah Vendetta earned first in the 1,500-meter hurdles. And finally, Michelle McCauley earned first place in the long jump with a distance of 16 feet, 10 inches.
We have covered a lot, and we have also run out of time for this week's edition of All Access. For Eric Conklin, Ayala Gideon, Chris Devine, Cody Decker, and the entire All Access team, I'm Derek Hill. Enjoy your week, Profs.